Meaning of language. Latin word lingua, tongue. That is, meaning of language is what is uttered with the help of tongue or mouth. Language is simple stream of sound that flows from the mouth of the speaker. Leonard Bloomfield. According to him, each community is formed by the activity of language. Speech utterances give us the most direct insight into its workings and play a part in everything that is done. ഭാഷാശാസ്ത്രത്തിലെ ഒരു പ്രധാന വ്യക്തിയായ ലിയോനാർഡ് ബ്ലൂംഫീൽഡ് ആശയവിനിമയത്തിൽ ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്ന അടയാളങ്ങളുടെ ഒരു സംവിധാനമായി ഭാഷയെ നിർവചിക്കുന്നു. ഭാഷയുടെ ഘടനയെ അതിൻ്റെ സ്വരസൂചകം, രൂപഘടന, വാക്യഘടന എന്നിവയിലൂടെ വിശകലനം ചെയ്യുന്നതിൽ അദ്ദേഹം ശ്രദ്ധ കേന്ദ്രീകരിച്ചു. ഭാഷ മനുഷ്യ ഇടപെടലിനുള്ള ഒരു സാമൂഹിക ഉപകരണമാണെന്ന് അദ്ദേഹം ഊന്നിപ്പറയുന്നു. നേച്ചർ ഓഫ് ലാംഗ്വേജ്. Learned. Language is acquired through social interaction and instruction rather than being instinctive. Humans learn language through exposure and practice. Next, arbitrary. The connection between words and their meanings is not inherent but is established by convention. For example, there is no inherent reason why the word tree refers to a tree. It's a matter of linguistic agreement. Next, systematic. Language follows specific rules and structures, grammar, syntax, that organize how words and sentences are formed and understood. Next, productive and creative. Language allows for the creation of an infinite number of sentences and expressions from a finite set of rules and vocabulary. This creativity enables speakers to produce and understand new and unique utterances. Non-instinctive. Conventional. Unlike instinctive behaviors, language acquisition and use are learned through interaction with others rather than being automatic. Next, dynamic. Language is constantly evolving. New words and expressions are created, and meanings and usage shift over time due to cultural, social, and technological changes. Next, vocal. In most languages, communication is primarily through spoken sounds, though there are also written and sign forms of language. Next, social. Language is inherently a social tool used for communication and interaction within a community. It plays a key role in forming and maintaining social relationships. Symbolic. Language uses symbols, words, sound to represent ideas, concepts, and objects. These symbols are understood and agreed upon by users of the language. Concept of language. Constructed language. A language that has been artificially created rather than having naturally evolved. Example includes Esperanto and Klingon. These languages are designed with specific rules and purpose in mind. Universal language. A theoretical language that could be understood by everyone, transcending cultural and linguistic boundaries. This concept often refers to ideas about a global language that could facilitate communication between speakers of different native languages. Next, standard language. A variety of a language that is accepted as the norm for official, formal, and educational purposes. It is typically codified in grammar and usage rules and is used in official documents, media, and education. Interlanguage. The evolving linguistic system used by language learners as they progress from their native language to the target language. It reflects an intermediate stage of language development where learners apply rules from both the native and target languages. International auxiliary language. A language created or adopted to facilitate communication between speakers of different native languages on an international scale. Esperanto is a prominent example designed to be a neutral and easy to learn language for global communication. Vernacular language. The native or everyday language spoken by people in a particular region or community. It contrasts with formal or standard language used in official or literary context. Sister language. Languages that are derived from a common ancestral language and are closely related. For example, Spanish, Italian, and French are sister languages because they all evolved from Latin. Official language. A language that is given special status by a government for use in official documents, legislation, and government proceedings. Countries may have one or more official languages. Standard language concept. It refers to the idea that a particular dialect of a language is considered the norm for formal communication. This concept involves establishing and maintaining norms for grammar, pronunciation, and vocabulary to ensure consistency and mutual intelligibility in formal context. Importance of language for societal existence. Means of connecting the world. For delimiting social groups. Language helps define and distinguish social groups. It can reflect shared identities and cultural heritage, marking membership in specific communities. For self expression. Through language, individuals express their thoughts, emotions, and identities. It provides a medium for articulating personal experiences and viewpoints. For preservation and transmission of ideas. Language is vital for passing down knowledge, traditions, and cultural values from one generation to another. It ensures continuity and the survival of ideas and practices. For studying other disciplines. Language is fundamental in the study of various disciplines, including history, literature, sociology, and anthropology. It enables the analysis and communication of complex concepts and findings. Linguistic principles. Principle of naturalness. Language should occur in a manner that reflects natural processes. This means that educational activities should align with how learners naturally acquire knowledge and skills, often through exploration and real life experiences. Principle of learning by doing emphasizes hands on experience. Learners gain a deeper understanding by actively engaging in tasks and applying what they have learned in practical situations. Principle of purpose. Learning should be purposeful and relevant to the learner. Setting clear objective and goal helps maintain motivation and ensures that the learning activities have meaningful outcome. Principle of limitation recognizes the need to manage the scope of learning activities. Limiting the content and complexity helps prevent overload and ensures that learners can effectively process and retain information. Principle of habit formation focuses on the importance of developing consistent practices, regular and repetitive activities help solidify learning and build habits that contribute to long-term retention and skill mastery. Principle of practice stresses the importance of repetition and continuous practice in learning. Regular practice reinforces knowledge and helps improve skills over time. Principle of context and situation. Learning should be contextualized and related to real life situation. The principle suggests that understanding is enhanced when learners see the relevance of what they are studying with specific context or scenarios. Other principles. Principle of mutuality, principle of balanced approach, principle of proper order, principle of giving priority to sound, principle of presenting language in basic sentence patterns, principle of vocabulary, passive and active, principle of oral approach, principle of proportion, principle of selection, principle of gradation, principle of multiple line approach, principle of using spiral approach, principle of language aptitude, Principle of using mother tongue sparsely. Definition. A language is a system of arbitrary sound symbols by means of which a social group interacts, blow, and drag. Next, according to Hall, language is an institution used by human beings for communication and interaction by means of conventional and voluntary oral auditory symbols. According to Aristotle, language is the speech sound produced by human beings to express their ideas, emotions, thoughts, desires, and feelings. The need and scope of LAC. The need and scope of language across the curriculum refers to integrating language skills and learning strategies throughout all subjects, not just in language arts classes. Need enhanced communication. Language is central to understanding and expressing ideas across all subjects. Strong language skills improve comprehension and articulation in math, science, history, and more. Critical thinking. Language helps in developing critical thinking by enabling students to analyze, evaluate, and discuss complex concepts. Academic success. Proficiency in language supports academic achievement across subjects by helping students follow instructions, engage in discussions, and write effectively. Scope of LAC interdisciplinary approach. Language skills are embedded in every subject. For example, students use language to describe scientific processes, discuss historical events, or explain mathematical concepts. Skill development. Activities like reading, comprehension, writing, speaking, and listening are integrated into various subjects to enhance overall academic performance. Next, teacher collaboration. Educators across disciplines work together to reinforce language skills, ensuring that students develop a cohesive understanding of language use in different contexts. So, integrating language across curriculum ensures that students not only improve their language abilities but also apply these skills effectively in diverse academic settings. Advantages and limitations of LAC. Integrating language across the curriculum offers several advantages and limitations. Advantages: number 1, enhanced understanding. Number 2, improved communication skills. Number 3, interdisciplinary connections, increased engagement. Enhanced understanding. Using language in various subjects helps students grasp concepts more deeply as they articulate their understanding and engage in critical thinking. Improved communication skill. Regular practice in different contexts enhances students' ability to communicate effectively both orally and in writing. Interdisciplinary connection. Language integration fosters connection between subjects, helping students see relationship between different areas of knowledge. Increased engagement. Varied language activities can make learning more engaging and relevant, motivating students to participate effectively. Limitations: time constraints, need for training, resource limitations, assessment challenges. Time constraints. Teachers may struggle to balance language integration with time needed to cover subject specific content. Number 2, need for training. Educators might require additional professional development to effectively integrate language strategies across disciplines. Resource limitations. Schools may face challenges in providing adequate resources and materials for effective language integration. Number 4, assessment and challenges. Evaluating language skills across different subjects can be complex and may not always align with traditional assessment methods. Language across curriculum approach. Concept, nature, and function of language. Concept. Language has been originally derived from Latin word lingua, which means tongue. In general, it refers to the cognitive faculty which enable human being to learn and use system of complex communication. Language has several definitions. Language, a system of conventional spoken, manual, signed or written symbols. The function of language include communication, the expression of identity, play, imaginative expression and emotional release. One of the primary function of language is communication. Through language, individuals can exchange thoughts, ideas, and emotions with others. Language also serves as a means of expressing identity. It is through language that individual can communicate their cultural background, values, and beliefs. Beyond communication and identity, language plays a role in various other functions. Language can be form of play as individuals engage in word games and creative expressions. Language themselves are constantly evolving and adapting to the changing needs and context of the speakers. They reflect the cultural, social, and historical aspects of community. It is important to recognize the power and significance of language in shaping human experiences and understanding. So, in conclusion, language is a complex and dynamic system of symbols that enable human beings to communicate. It is a fundamental aspect of human existence, shaping our interaction, relationship, and understanding of the world. Language is a powerful tool that connects individuals and communities, allowing for the sharing of knowledge, culture, and experiences. Nature of language. Language consists of words, idioms, and syntax. It is through language that we think, feel, judge, and express. So we hence language is one of the most important and characteristic form of human behavior. We use words and idioms as tool to perform and share experiences among people possible. Nature number 1 language is speech. Language primarily involves speech and hearing. It is the means through which human beings communicate with one another. Speech is the vocalization of language, and hearing is the ability to perceive and understand spoken words. Living language. A living language adapts and grows with the people who speak it. It responds to the complexities and variations of human utterances by acquiring new forms, meanings, and applications. Language and society. Language is closely intertwined with society. It is a reflection of human behavior and plays a crucial role in social interactions. Language helps individuals express themselves in various situations, allowing for effective communication and understanding. Operation of language, nature number 4. In the operation of language, it is essential for there be a social context or necessity. Language exists to facilitate communication between individuals and it requires a corresponding situation or scenario for it to operate effectively. Number 5 sounds and signals. One of the fundamental aspects of language is the use of sound and signals. Unlike the signal like sound and actions of animals, human speech involves a complex system of sound that carry meaning. Linguist Leonard Bloomfield emphasizes the study of this coordination of sounds and meanings in language. When we study language, we are essentially giving meaning to meaning. It is worth nothing that research is ongoing to determine if animals also have similar conventionalized arrangements in their expressions.